So today I'm in Beijing for Auto China 2026 and we're going to look at some of the coolest and most unique cars to come to the market in the future. We are here with BYD, but we're looking at everything. When I say we, I mean me and Yanni behind the camera. Again, we are here with BYD as their guests, but we have been told that we do not have to stick to just BYD. So we'll be filming and looking at pretty much everything. There are some cool cars that are on display, like the new BMW 7 Series. You know, I had a 7 Series before, so that's something I'm interested in. Also, there's some cars that we don't get in the UK, like the Audi E7 and E5. I know you're probably thinking, what on earth is that? But yeah, Audi have a completely different brand here. Even their logo just says Audi, it doesn't have the 4 rings. BYD is made up of numerous different brands, such as Denza, Yangwang, and BYD themselves. So we're gonna pretty much look at everything. But first of all, let me show you some other cars. So part of BYD is made up of their luxury brand, Denza, and they have several cars that are coming to the UK in the next few years, such as the Denza Z9, which essentially, it may look like just an MPV, but it's a luxury people carrier. So if you look inside, you have captain chairs in the back, you have passenger display in the front, a very clear display here, so even the driver gets amenities. There is a screen that drops down from the ceiling that you can use to stream, and in case you need to carry more people, there are more seats in the back. These kind of cars do very well in Asia, so businessmen and women tend to ride around in these over like SUVs in America and in the UK, and S-classes. They would rather choose something like that because it's more practical as you get more space, it's easier to get in and out of, and you also are a bit more low-key and under the radar, which will be interesting to see how that succeeds in the UK, because the UK mentality is slightly different. You kind of want to be more, I guess, show-offy. So we'll see, but when they do bring it to the UK, I definitely would like to get my hands on one, because imagine carrying your family around in that. That'd be quite sick. However, in the UK, they're focusing mainly on hybrid because the UK's taken its time adopting full EV, but they have got a hybrid powertrain system that is very, very good at basically giving you the EV experience without any of the drawbacks. So here's the new BMW M2 CS in this wonderful purple color. That looks absolutely stunning. You guys know I love purple. I just wish it had the carbon hood. I don't know, I think that would make it stand out a bit more, but it looks great. As you know, I have been thinking about getting an M2. I think the CS will be too hard, but I was considering it as like a runaround car, but then I realized something that I didn't really think about before. It only has 2 doors, which will make it a lot harder to get my kids in the back. Here, let me open up. These bucket seats are ridiculous. I would not sit on that. They look so uncomfortable. To get my kid in the back wouldn't be too hard. It's got ISOFIX. I like the carbon on the back of the seat, but I wouldn't go for the seat. I would go for comfort. But again, the CS version might be a bit too firm, as it is the competition version. It's even got the aggressive rear ducktail. This is just a more dialed in and more focused version of the M2. It looks cool, wouldn't be practical as a like a family runaround. They have really packed the engine in here. That's how you can tell this platform wasn't necessarily designed for that. It looks very high and very full. People always say the M2s are more like the old BMWs because they're smaller, lighter with a straight 6 engine, but they're still heavy and big because everything's big now. Speaking of cars that are big now, Mini is here, and despite the name, the cars aren't really mini. They are like regular hatchbacks, and sometimes they're more like SUVs. Cool cars, another good option for a run around daily, especially the electric one. The thing about electric cars, you can just get in and go. You don't have to worry about the engine being prime, or you don't have to worry about getting up to temperature. It's just like literally run around, do your job, put it back, and the car will be absolutely fine. This person is sleeping in the BMW. They told her to get out, and then she was trying to argue because she was sleeping in the car. So behind me is the Fang Cheng Bao 7. This car is essentially a Land Rover Defender competitor. It's quite utilitarian in the way it looks. You also get the very Land Rover-esque styling on the rear. This car has some unique features that are coming to the market that will hopefully change the way we look at electric EVs going forward. This car has about 755 kilometers of range, and it has a very, very cool design and a very cool paint scheme. If you come around to the side of the car with me, you can see the interior is super luxurious. You have this saddle style interior, and also you have all the amenities that you would expect from a luxury car, not something that you would see as an off-roader or a car to do utility style things with. If you come to the rear, you can also see there is tons of space back there for your family and for your friends. It has a lot of features, and one really cool feature is that the suspension system on this car, not only can it increase and lower, it can get from firm
to soft at the blink of an eye. It can readjust itself thousands of times a second, ensuring you get the ultimate comfort whilst also getting ultimate performance. For me personally, this car would appeal to me, and I think it will appeal to a European audience because the styling is very subtle in comparison to what they're doing with their other cars. It has very European lines, and it has a very European mindset in the way they've gone about things. And I think that if this does come to the UK, it would sell pretty well, also depending on the price range of the car. But let me know what you think. It is a flash charging demonstration of the Denza Z9 GT. So what they've done is introduce this technology called flash charging, which essentially means that you can charge the car as quickly as possible. In regular conditions, you can pretty much charge the car to near enough 100% in just 9 minutes. Or if you need the car just be ready to go, you can go from 20 to 70% in 5 minutes. Now, an issue with electric cars is that when it's cold, you get reduced charging performance due to battery chemistry. However, even with the flash charging, you can go from 20 to 97% in just 12 minutes. So again, it eliminates things like range anxiety and charge anxiety, allowing you to continue your journey as quickly as possible. However, you don't really need to do that with the Z9 GT because it has an electric range of over 1,000 kilometers. So you probably never need to charge it on your regular daily use.
So earlier I showed you the Audi we do not get in Europe that they get over here in China. And this is one of the Mercedes that they get over here. This is an E-Class long wheelbase, which we do not get in Europe. In China, they get a lot of long wheelbase variants of cars, such as the Mercedes A-Class. The reason for that is apparently because in China, the users prioritize rear legroom. Part of the reason for that is that you can be stuck in traffic for ages. So if you're riding around in the back of these cars, you want a maximum comfort. And if you're riding around in the front, you want to be able to relax your seat as much as possible. So yeah, so here are some of the Fang Cheng Bao cars in person. What I really want to look at is this SP2 competitor, I would say, because that looks really, really cool. Even down to the fact that the seats aren't matching, that is very interesting. And you know what? It's beautiful as well. I can imagine myself drive. You know what? I would love to drive that.
BYD sub-brand Denza also announced the convertible version of their Denza Z supercar. Supercar is a light term because this car seems to have hypercar figures, with potentially over 1,000 horsepower if it has the same powertrain as the coupe, a suspension system that allows the car to correct body roll and pitch and dive on the fly, and a tri-motor setup. This is undoubtedly one of the coolest and fastest cars that we saw at the show. Surprisingly, this is launching in Europe first. We're still waiting on times when it's going to come to the UK, but hopefully we'll be able to see it sometime soon.
So here is a slightly more up-close shot of the car. It's very busy here, so I'm going to try and do my best. The paintwork on it is immaculate. It's done in a special way, so it has so many layers that when you look at the car, it kind of changes. But I've never really seen paint like this on a car, not to this standard. The interior as well also looks very luxurious, and the car also carries that wing that I was speaking about earlier that Denza put on their sporty cars, which is very nice. The rear gives very, very interesting Bentley Continental vibes, and the fact that it's a 4-seater, sorry, 2x2, I think this is more targeting the Bentley Continental. However, it is aimed to be a hypercar, a supercar, and that's why they decided to give it 1,000 horsepower. So full EV, which is interesting for a convertible. Again, when you have the roof off of a convertible, you want to hear engine sound, and you will not be hearing engine sound in this. So it'll be interesting to see how it's received. But in terms of the design and what it offers, it's interesting because Ferrari and other brands seem to be going towards more digital control buttons. Even though Ferraris bring back analog, this control, look at the steering wheel, is fully analog. Initial opinion of the car is that it's beautiful and it has the performance. Will it have the emotion? It doesn't necessarily have the sound because it's an EV, but I think they've done so much to do everything else to kind of bring that emotion back, and the fact that their tagline has emotion in it, I like it. I think it's cool. What do you think?
It looks great, but as I said, I think it's like a Frankenstein of loads of different cars. I think the rear is very Aston Martin.
100%.
The front, the wings are very Ferrari.
Yeah.
The way the roof goes up and down and the shape of the roof is very Porsche.
Yeah.
You understand? So it's like 4 or 5 cars in one. But if you bring all the good bits of all those cars,
yeah, that
is going to be an incredible car.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how much it is when it comes to the UK, because this will come to the UK. And it's also going to be interesting to see how the UK audience adopts it, because We are very cautious when it comes to EVs now. In the entire show, this, hands down, is my favorite car. We just looked at the Denza supercar. So this is Fang Cheng Bao, which is part of BYD. This is one of their supercars that's going to be potentially coming in the future. It's a two-seater electric hypercar, but I think not only does it not look electric thanks to that long front bonnet, it also looks very, I don't know, traditional in terms of supercars. It looks very Italian, very Ferrari, if I dare say, but I think it is gorgeous and it's stolen the show for me, especially with the split color interior and the beautiful, beautiful styling. I would love to drive something like this. And something that actually interests me is the Cayenne Electric. It looks like a very cool car, and I've been told it's very comfortable. It's a lot larger than the previous car. It's got some cool aerodynamic elements like on the tail. I have seen this car before. It's been announced for a while, and they just announced the Cayenne Coupe Electric, which for some reason isn't here. One thing I had was a BMW i7, and this is the new BMW i7. So you can see BMW have reworked the bonnet.
Look at the one in the corner. It's wrapped how your one was.
Oh yeah, it is. I wonder where they got that idea from.
Avery, vinyl. Yeah, they copied Tomi.
So yeah, no, this is sick. You can see that they've adjusted the front bonnet so it's more aggressive. It's got those power domes on the front. The front lights are different now, so they're not as pronounced, which I think looks nicer. It makes the car look less bucktooth. We still have the illuminated grille, but now we also have, again, the two-tone split, but there's more options now, which is really cool. The car is the same size. Essentially, this is just a no, it's the same size as the previous one. Essentially just a facelift. You know what, in China it's probably a long wheelbase, but it's essentially just a facelift, like I was saying. Lights on the back have been changed quite a lot. I think I prefer the previous generation lights. So this is the new Freelander. What that means is that Land Rover have separated their brands to be their own independent labels, like Defender being Defender, Range Rover being Range Rover, and now Freelander being Freelander. This is a collaboration between Land Rover and Geely, I believe. And essentially, it's a Freelander, it's a Land Rover, but just without the Land Rover badging. I think it looks cool. It is huge in this concept form. Obviously, concept cars had to be dramatic and have a lot of attention, but I really like this. This is a really nice car. I really like the Bronco. I've always thought it looked cool. It's a shame we don't get it, because again, in England, I think this would sell really well. This one is a Bronco EV. And this one is a Bronco plug-in hybrid, it would seem. So BYD's full range of cars isn't in the UK at the moment, but as you can see here, they have what is essentially an electric hatchback, which again, you don't really see those in the UK. Electric cars tend to veer towards being SUVs and being saloons, with SUVs taking the #1 spot, because that's pretty much what everyone wants to drive in the United Kingdom for some reason. People that buy hatchbacks tend to be younger people, people with no or small families, or people that want to spend less. They want a more practical and economical car. However, once you take an electric hatchback into the UK, if it's been manufactured in China, they're hit with things like import tax. So financially, it will just be like buying a usual car. But they look really cool, especially this track-focused video game themed version. It actually looks really cool, and I can imagine this in the UK doing quite well. Again, it is electric, so it would struggle with uptake as we've seen with other electric hot hatches, but it would be really cool to have something like this, just maybe without all the bits and bobs on it. So behind me is an active demonstration of BYD's flash charging technology, but not only have they just shown a car charging really quickly, they've shown it charging at -30. So at -30, the car takes 3 minutes extra to charge to full. At regular temperature, it takes 9 minutes, and to get the system ready, it takes 5 minutes. So essentially, even at -30, you can plug your car in, fully charge it, and make your way. And this, with the Denza Z9, gives you around 1,000 kilometers of range in 9 minutes, or add 3 if it's -30, which it never is in the UK. Denza have what is my favorite car under the BYD brand, and it is the Z9 GT. You know, I'm a Panamera and Taycan fan. I love a wagon and I love a saloon, and this is like the perfect car for me. Not only that, it has over 1,000 kilometers of range, and it comes in a model with over 1,000 horsepower. Not that you necessarily need that, but when we drove it around the track, we did some dynamic driving with this car, and we did something on a skid pan with this car, and it's very responsive. Again, these cars have surprised me because I was expecting them just to be kind of just cars, point A to point B, electric, a lot of horsepower, but not necessarily engaging. However, I find that this reminded me of the Taycan, and it reminded me of the Panamera, which I think is what they based it on. And it also tends to have the McLaren little wing on the side as well, and a McLaren S-Line at the front. I think they've done that to make the car more sporty, but it's a practical family car whilst being a luxurious, sporty, and competent racer. This is the interior of the Z9 GT. Again, very premium, wireless charging and wireless and cool charging up to 50 watts. So it's actually really powerful and quick. Everything can be controlled by this huge infotainment display, and the passenger also gets a very clear passenger display that the driver cannot actually see, so it stops it from being a distraction. But for the driver, we have a very Mercedes-esque wheel, premium leather on it as well, and a lot of physical touch buttons that control all your essential features. But this screen, I wish the camera did it justice how big it is. We also have enough space for 5 grown adults. This, again, is my favorite car under the BYD brand, the Denza Z9, and I'll love to get this in the UK and drive it around, because we drove it on the track, we drove it on the skid pan, we drove it on dynamic handling, and it was so fun. So yeah, hopefully when this comes to the UK, they'll let me have one, maybe for a few days, so I could do a proper review. But for now, that's the Denza Z9. We ordered a Chinese Uber. It's a Denza. Look at this, absolute luxury. So that's a wrap for me at the Beijing Auto Show. It was an incredible experience. We are currently in the back of a Chinese Uber called the Didi. We ordered the most premium one, which so happened to be a Denza, like the one we were looking at. Look at the interior. There is so much space in here. My feet are all the way out, like I can barely touch this head. Yanni's fully reclined in this seat. It is, yeah, I want one of these in the UK. Like I was saying in the video, it's like an MPV, so like a people carrier, but it's so low key, and on the interior, it's so luxurious. This is the older version of the car we saw today, but it's nice, fully relaxing, and it's, again, low key entertainment. I like it. Anyway, that's a wrap from Beijing and the Beijing Auto Show. It's been amazing. I wish I could have just recorded everything we did, but I didn't want to make this video 10 hours long. But we're gonna go get some dinner, and I have a flight to catch, so I'm gonna go get some sleep.